This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody. This is Tammy DeLu with another Rebel Agents Dispatch. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the other ones, you probably should go to the Safe Money Trends site and look up those particular broadcasts. Check them out because I'm going to be talking about something that I have touched on briefly in my other podcasts. And since this is for agents, if you're not an agent or an advisor, annuity in the annuity business somehow, you're probably not going to be too interested in what I'm going to talk about today. So you're dismissed. Those of you who are in the business, you might have been noticing this, or you might have heard my other podcasts. You can see my screen. Integrity Marketing Group acquires a Nexus. And that is a big deal for a lot of you. A lot of you do business through a Nexus. So this is interesting. I've been talking about Integrity Marketing Group. They're like Pac-Man. They're going around. Remember Pac-Man? If you're old enough, you remember. Going around, scooping up all these FMOs and IMOs at lightning speed. I think they've done, I don't know, probably 100 by now, but it was the last time I counted was 55 in the last 5 years. But in the last year or so, they've picked up the pace and they're out there acquiring these things. So if you're listening to this and you work with integrity, I would really like to hear your side of the story. And I'd love to have you on the podcast. So please reach out to me and I'll have you on the podcast to explain what you're doing, what your strategy is, why this is good for agents. But in my opinion, I'm looking at IMOs and FMOs and what they do or what they're supposed to be doing. And 90% of the time I get complaints that they don't follow through on what they're supposed to be doing. So all of you that have been in the business a while know why you need an IMO or FMO unless you're like making $20 million a year and you have 10 agents working for you or whatever. You probably are not going to be able to go direct with the carrier. You need them because they're the middleman. They're supposed to be providing stuff like back office or different services that actually help you with your case design and things like that. They're supposed to be doing that, right? And they're also supposed to be going beyond that and helping you sell. And that may mean providing you with websites, marketing tools, Facebook ads, whatever you need in order to sell more annuities because they don't get paid unless you get paid. But that being said, they have to earn their commission. And so often they figure that you need them worse than they need you. So they can just overcharge you for things or just get flaky and never call you back and things like that. So that's the problems with IMOs. So Integrity's buying this IMO, but what does an IMO really have for assets? They're not buying their buildings. They're not buying a fleet of automobiles like you would with a regular business. I don't even know how you would evaluate a business like an IMO, except purely from a goodwill standpoint, right? Because supposedly they don't own you as agents. I mean, you might be under contract to them and it might be the devil to get out of the contract. But the last time I checked, you were not indentured servants to these IMOs. So what they have is you. That's what they have. So they're getting big bucks for selling what they own, which is you and your contracts. So before you get in bed with any IMO or FMO at all, be aware that number one, they could sell you, like getting a mortgage, they could sell it to a different bank and you wouldn't even know it. The second thing is you've got to read your contracts. I know they're boring. I know they're full of a lot of obfuscated terminology and arcane things that you probably need a lawyer to help you read it, but you need to read it to see what you can and can't do, to see how easy and how free you are, how easy it is to get out of the contract and how free you are. You really need to do that. Do it every single time. I don't care how much you like the marketer on the other end of the line. You need to see a sample contract at the very least to see what you're getting yourself into, okay? Because you don't want to be in a situation like a lot of my advisors. Now, the reason, again, I got into this business doing safemoneytrends.com and doing this podcast and everything else was because I asked a simple question, and that was, what gives an IMO the right to take the content that you've created and paid for? I'm not talking about the free stuff they give you, but when you go out and hire me, for example, to write your marketing for you, or you hire a third party to build your website or whatever, they have the right to take your content down and never give it back to you and then threaten you when you try to use it? And I was saying no. I mean, I asked just a question. What happened to Agent X's content? Agent X called me, said, where's my stuff that I put up there? I don't know. You know, it's not like I sit around and keep track of all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles I write. So he called me and says, well, do you have a copy? Why? What did they do? And it turned out that when Agent X left this IMO, they took his stuff down completely, like kill switch, the very same, probably the ink probably hadn't even dried on his new IMO contract before the other one was taking his stuff down. But worse than that, I found that content, quote unquote, repurposed under the IMO's ghostwriter or whatever. In other words, they didn't just take it down, they reused it without his permission, even though he paid for it. And I took issue with that. And so we got into a big hassle, and that's what birthed Safe Money Trends and the podcast and all that, the rebelagents.com that we're working on, and all the other cool stuff that we're going to do. Because I know that the independents are independent for a reason. They want to stay independent, and they don't want all these jokers telling them what they can and can't do and who they can work with. So if you got that email that said don't work with Tammy, I would ignore it because you're missing out. I'm only going to have 50 people on the Safe Money Trends site at any one time, and that's all I can handle. I can barely handle those. So if you want to be part of that, you better do it now and let me know, and we can start working with you to make your content Google compliant and really, really good and really clean and devoid of all these attachments. Like, we're not going to ding you. If you leave us and go to another marketing agency, we're a marketing agency, not a marketing organization. We don't want any of your contracts. You know, we just want to be left alone. We want to do stuff for you, have you have success, and then you go on your merry way. But if you leave, we're not going to steal your stuff. Okay, it's yours to keep. Okay, forever. Even if we give it to you, it's yours. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, we're going back to integrity. Integrity could be a problem. You know, give me your experiences. If you guys have worked with integrity before, or as I said, if you work for integrity and you want to talk to me, please let me know. Now we'll look at, you know, there's actually some, if you go to, this is good. If you guys never go to Insurance Forum, it's still around. It's been around forever. And it's probably got, I don't know, a couple 100,000 agents on it. But if you go there, you'll find some other threads on integrity marketing where guys are asking the same question. What's with these guys? What are they up to and what are they doing? So now, going to more pleasant things, I wanted to let you know we're making some real progress on doing this really good initiative that you might be interested in. So maybe you don't want to be with Safe Money Trends on a regular basis as an author, but maybe you do want us to do some individual projects for you. That's great. One of the projects we're doing right now, and turn off my camera. One of the projects we're doing is we're making testimonials. Now, a lot of you are IARs, RIAs, whatever, CFPs, whatever you are, you have some compliance people to deal with, and they're usually very unpleasant to deal with, right? And so one of the things is testimonials are very heavily regulated. What I'm doing is specifically not being hired to do this, okay, first of all. It's part of a marketing package that I put together. So this gentleman didn't ask me to do this. He asked me to talk to his clients and get some quotes that he could put on his website. Again, those can be problematic for compliance officers. What I did instead that I think is really going to work is I simply called this client up and put her on my Safe Space podcast as a guest and asked her questions about her experience just buying annuities in general. And she bought an annuity online and she used this particular advisor. And then I allowed her in her own words, without any coaching from me, to say what she wanted to say about this advisor. And I think this turned out really well. You can find this on the Safe Space podcast on YouTube. And it came across as genuine, and it was not solicited by the advisor. That's the most important thing. He didn't go out and ask her to do this. He asked her to talk to me and I asked all the questions, and I made it into an educational and an informative radio show segment. Okay, so that's one way that I think it's more powerful, and I think it's going to get some traction. It's already got, it's got 29 views, which is a lot for a testimonial when you think about it. And once he gets this website up, this advisor is going to post it on there as well, so it will get a lot. I'm always a person that believes in reusing and repurposing content and getting the most squeezed out of it as you can, right? So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. Whatever we do for you, we're going to purpose it in 10 different ways. So anyway, this is just one thing, doing this little testimonial. They're a lot of fun to do. And if you've got clients that are singing your praises, but you're worried that you can't get them to, talk to me, let me know and we'll try it out. Won't cost you very much at all. We'll negotiate the price, and I'd love to do that for you. That's just one thing we're doing that's I think interesting. Again, we are driving traffic according to the Google playbook. We are trying to stay very compliant, and we're trying to have good quality traffic going to the Save Money Trends website. So we're getting articles now that have hundreds and hundreds of reads on them. So we're very pleased about that. So if you want to join us, again, please call me during regular business hours. Write down the number, 951-658-0492. Again, call Tammy at 951-658-0492. This has been the Rebel Agent Dispatch. Let us know you are a Rebel Agent, and we'll kick along maybe a special gift to you if you give me a call. Talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Bye.